See more innovation in packaging and processing than anywhere else at PACK EXPO International. It's the show that defines where the industry is headed, with the solutions that establish where your business can go. Discover state-of-the-art packaging technology, processing equipment, new materials, sustainable solutions, supply chain resources, and much, much more. You'll walk away with innovative solutions to challenges big and small. Register at packexpointernational.com.
You're listening to Unpacked with PMMI, where we share the latest packaging and processing industry insights, research, and innovations to help you advance your business.
Hi, and welcome to Unpacked with PMMI. I'm your host, Sean Riley. We're pulling another episode out of the archives because the timing is just too good to leave it sitting there. PACK EXPO International is coming up in October in Chicago, and if you're an exhibitor, right now is exactly when you should be thinking about your marketing strategy. A few months back, we sat down with Chris Lukey, founder and host of Manufacturing Happy Hour. It was our 200th episode. Chris broke down what authentic marketing looks like for manufacturers, how small teams can build a presence without overcomplicating, and this is the part that really stuck with me, how to turn your digital community into real connections on the show floor. It's a great conversation, and it's just as relevant today as it was then. Let's have a listen.
So with all the fancy introductions out of the way, welcome to the podcast, Chris.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me on.
The pleasure is all ours. We got you here to talk about kind of modern marketing for manufacturers. You are an expert in this, so we wanted to pick your brain, I guess, kind of to kick things off. When a manufacturer says they want their marketing to be more authentic, how do they incorporate that into their day-to-day?
Yeah, I love talking about this topic, and I think that last part of your question is part of the answer. They incorporate it into their day-to-day. I think a common mistake I see marketers, not only in manufacturing, right, but B2B in general, is there's this sense that marketing needs to be this highly produced, polished video, flyer, graphic, whatever it is, right? And I think when you're trying to do something that's more authentic, and that's a word that gets thrown around, maybe almost overused in these days, but the way to get beyond that is to show up on a consistent basis. Sometimes it is that polished video. There is a time and place for that type of marketing, but let's say you're the executive of a manufacturing company, a packaging OEM, whatever it may be. If you can show something where you're walking out on the shop floor, maybe you take a quick video with your smartphone and you're saying, hey, this is one of the situations we're encountering in our business today. Hey, other manufacturing leaders, are you encountering that same issue? If you do that as a selfie style video, maybe it's got some cool background of the machines that you're building. That's a great way to create something that doesn't take more than, really a minute of your time, 2 minutes of your time to record that video on your phone and share it with a caption to LinkedIn. As an example, I'm just trying to get manufacturers to realize it doesn't always need to be that old school polished corporate piece of content. A lot of times that insight that you just had in a meeting that you want to share in a written post to LinkedIn can be just as impactful if you do them on a regular basis.
That's interesting because as you were saying that, that's what I was thinking. It seems like an evolution from that old school mentality where marketing handled marketing, whereas now, especially with an iPhone, LinkedIn, social media, marketing is kind of a job for everybody. Is that safe to say, or everybody that's representing the company?
I think that's a fair comment. Maybe another way I would phrase it is the role of marketers has evolved in a lot of ways. There's more digital tools. As chief marketing officers have gotten a seat at the table, there's more connection between revenue and marketing activities, which is excellent. But I think one underrated skill set of a modern day marketer is being an empowerer of other employees that are great at telling stories or are great at representing the brand publicly. Back in the day, it used to be the CEO or someone from the C-suite making an announcement, and then it was the marketing team's job to get that in front of PR folks and other individuals that were more your traditional forms of marketing. in today's environment, if I'm a marketing executive, I'm looking for anyone on my team. Maybe it's a frontline employee that's great at explaining the process. Maybe it's a mid-level manager that has developed a bit of a following on social media. Whatever it is, as a marketer today, I think one of the most important skills is to identify the people that are out there that are already creating content or representing your brand in a positive light and finding a way to amplify those individuals, amplify those voices.
Okay. How do we know if we're overdoing it, if it's too much, or can it be too much? Can it get out of control where there's too much marketing going on, for lack of a better word?
It's a great question. I think a good way to think about it is as you start doing, let's say you are a company that's out there just creating content off the wazoo and you're wondering to yourself, gosh, are we doing too much? You got to listen to what your audience is saying, or maybe what your audience isn't saying. If you see engagement drop off, or you're not seeing the type of comments that you're hoping for, you're not creating the discussions that you're trying to create amongst your customers and prospects on social media or in person when you get out of the social media channels and get out into real life and hang out with them there. I think a lot of it goes back to listening to your audience, because if you are the type of company that's creating a lot of content, a great way to figure out if you're doing it correctly is if you're seeing engagement from the people that you want to reach. And I think a great way to realize whether you've done too much is if the conversations that you originally created start to go down a path that aren't necessarily aligned with your brand, or if the conversations go silent. I think that's a great way to determine whether or not you're doing too much. I think maybe the better way I could answer this question is you're trying to find the right balance. You're trying to figure out what amount of content gets the engagement and conversations we're hoping for, because that ultimately builds your audience, builds your community, and that community oftentimes is going to be comprised of current customers, and better yet, folks that aren't customers yet that could be converted to customers in the future. Putting my salesperson and executive hat on there.
Right. Okay. Well, in our world, in packaging and processing, we have a lot of organizations that might have smaller marketing teams or smaller teams in general that are face forward. With limited time and with these smaller teams, what's the easiest way to kind of jump in and expand beyond the formal marketing presentations?
Sure. I would say this is a comment that I get from a lot of executives where they're like, I wish my team were more present on social media. I wish they were out promoting our brand more. I would say one of the first things that a marketing leader or whomever is the person on the team, sometimes it could be the executive, right? It could be the CEO. If it is a small enough team, the CEO might have some of those marketing responsibilities. That person also needs to hold themselves accountable to create content and share their voice. They need to set the example of what it looks like to market to an audience. So really, it's the leader that if there's someone on the team that's saying, hey, we might not be the largest team in the world, but it's really important that all of us, contribute to this company message, this marketing message a little bit. Well, the first person that needs to be out there doing that is the person delivering that message. You can't be the marketing executive saying, gosh, I wish my team shared more. I wish we had more content that I could put on our corporate channels. If you're the marketing leader and you're not holding yourself accountable and taking those actions, how can you expect the rest of your team to follow suit? So I think that's one of the most important things for a small marketing team. It is going to be more of an all hands on deck scenario, and the person that is motivated to drive marketing, whether that's the marketing executive or whether that's the CEO that realizes marketing is a channel to more revenue, that person needs to step up to the plate too.
Okay, that's fair. It makes complete sense. So keeping with that in mind, as a manufacturer who might have a smaller team or not as expansive of a network to begin with, what should they focus on right now? Like what are the content efforts that you recommend that deliver the best results right out of the gate? Things they can jump in, not low-hanging fruit, but ways to get it out there more right now.
One of the first things I'd say is figure out where your audience is hanging out. And oftentimes in conversations like this, when I reference social media, I'll often reference LinkedIn specifically. There can be a tendency for people to say, gosh, we need to figure out a way to be on YouTube and podcasts and Instagram and TikTok and name all of it, right? If I'm a marketing leader that's trying to get started, for lack of a better word, I'm going to pick one, maybe two channels where we can really double down, focus on those first, and then maybe expand into a third channel, for example. And the easiest way to pick what those channels are is pick where your audience is already hanging out. In the manufacturing space, a lot of times that ends up being LinkedIn right out of the gate. That is still the premier B2B platform. And then pick something else, and there are ways to do this without having to work you or your team to death. If you're thinking podcasts are your channel, you don't need to start a podcast yourself. There are a lot of podcasts out there in the manufacturing space, specifically in the packaging space as well. Again, go to the spots where you know your ideal audience, your ideal customer profile. Go to the spots where you know they're already hanging out from a digital or audio or video standpoint, and build content for one or two of those channels rather than spreading yourself too thin.
Okay, that makes complete sense. Yeah, I feel like LinkedIn keeps popping up as the obvious answer. I wasn't sure if that was still the case, but it sounds like if you're going to shoot a video, if you're going to ask a question, that's kind of the place to put yourself out.
Yeah, and that will continue to evolve, right? I think one thing that I didn't expect to see when a platform like TikTok got started was to see a bunch of trades videos on there. You'll see videos for machining, you'll see videos for robotics, right? So never completely write off some of these platforms just because you think it's a platform that's just for kids, for example. But be listening, be paying attention, but don't let that be a distraction, or don't let that be a reason to spread yourself too thin too early.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you've built this strong community around your podcast, and you obviously have expertise in this. What have some tricks of the trade or tips of the trade that you've done that's kind of helped turn your listeners into more of an engaged network, more of a community, not just a one-sided type thing that might be helpful for our listeners? And kind of, I guess on top of that, what's next? Like, what's the next digital engagement in manufacturing? What's that look like?
So I've been joking around with folks lately that my favorite social network right now is text messages. And I'm not talking about like how people are using text messages as like the new email list, right? Where you have a list of texts and you send out mass messages. I'm talking about those one-on-one conversations. I am always looking for the people in my audience that are engaging, and you said it, community. Community is the word. You got to take the community that you've built digitally and, in my opinion, find ways to get them out in real life. Get them, I run a podcast called Manufacturing Happy Hour. Get them to a happy hour. Get them to a breakfast. Get them to a lunch. Get them talking to one another. When I was a salesperson in the automation industry for the longest time, one of the things I realized was it's going to be a lot easier to sell if my customers are hanging out with one another, right? Non-competitive customers hanging out in the same room, talking about the ways they're using my automation equipment. I knew I was going to have a much better job if the community was hearing it in the terms of testimonials, hearing it from their peers. So I would say once you start building up that digital presence, that digital community, again, community is the big word here, find ways to get them hanging out in real life. And again, this is thinking about where is your audience already hanging out? A lot of times that could be an after party at PACK EXPO, for example. And I often say, hey, a great way to expand your reach is rather, I'm talking to, let's say, all the companies out there that might be listening to this. Find a way to collaborate with 2 or 3 different organizations. Again, non-competitive ones, but then you're inviting your customers, they're inviting their customers, you're inviting your prospects, they're inviting their prospects, and you get a room full of people. You essentially triple your reach, for example, by creating a more collaborative in-person event. So one of the areas that admittedly I'm biased towards as someone that is a content creator that also runs events, but I do think a great way to really get that community engaged at the next level after you start to establish that rapport and that camaraderie online is find a way to get them offline together.
Beautiful. Yeah, that ties in
perfectly with PACK EXPO, which we produce, and we love to talk about the networking opportunities there, and that aligns beautifully with what you're saying. Well, I can't thank you enough, Chris. I know you're a busy man. I know you got your own podcast to worry about. So we thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come on here and give us, some of your tips for our manufacturers. So thanks again, Chris.
I appreciate it, Sean. You guys have been running a great community for years. So you guys are already taking a lot of the advice that I've shared on this show and have been putting it in place for a long time. So you guys do great work over there at PMMI, PACK EXPO. Happy to take the time to hang out with you guys.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Unpacked with PMMI. If you liked what you heard, be sure to follow or subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. That way, you won't miss any of the industry insights coming your way. While you're there, we'd really appreciate a rating or review. Want more? Visit pmmi.org/podcasts for all of our past episodes and additional resources. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you next time.